So now we are going to start our exercise physiology. What are the types of exercise that are mainly divided into isotonic exercise and isometric exercise? So what is isotonic? In an example, if you are running on treadmill, that is isotonic, and if you're pushing a wall, then it is isometric exercise. So here you can see when you're running on a treadmill, the tension remains same because you are equally running, but only the length of the muscle changes. But when you see in case of pushing a wall, you can see the tension is changing because you're applying the force and creating a tension, so the tension is changing, but the length of the muscle remains same because you're not moving, only you're straight like that and pushing the wall, so the length of the muscle remains same. So this is the difference between isotonic and isometric exercise. Now let us see the energy sources of exercise. So while doing exercise, from where we get that energy? So we have mainly four types in that. So first start with each of them. So first one is a phosphocreatine. Phosphocreatine, it's also known as phosphogen system. So mainly here the energy is derived in the form of creatine phosphate, and this provides energy up to 8 to 10 seconds. So this is important, it provides energy up to 8 to 10 seconds only. So you can just have an race of 100 meters or so, that's it, because 8 to 10 seconds only energy, that is by phosphogen system. And next we have an anaerobic glycosis. So here energy is mainly derived from lactic acid because it's anaerobic, so from lactic acid system, and it provides energy only up to 1 to 5 minutes, that's it, 1.5 minutes. And coming to aerobic system, here energy is derived from ATP because aerobic, right? So it provides energy up to unlimited time, so depending upon the nutrition which is available in the blood, so it is of unlimited type, that is aerobic system. And next, long standing activities, it is called as endurance activity, and here the energy is mainly derived from high carbohydrate rich diet. So before going to any hard exercise or very important exercise, for athletes especially, they are preferred to eat high carbohydrate rich diet to do an exercise. So it provides energy up to 4 hours. So this is very beneficial. So hence the name is long standing activities because it is up to 4 hours. And also endurance means without undergoing any fatigue, we continue to exercise, that is called as endurance activity. Now let us see the changes in skeletal muscle during exercise. So actually, during exercise, what happens in skeletal muscle contraction, heavy contraction takes place. That is nothing but force generation process. So here the maximum contractile force of a skeletal muscle is about 3 to 4 kilograms per centimeter square. And the blood flow at the resting state is at 2 to 4 milliliter per 100 gram per minute. And whereas the blood flow during exercise, you can see it is about 80 ml or 80 ml per 100 gram per minute. You can see just 2 to 4 ml while resting, but the blood flow is tremendously increased during exercise up to 80 ml. So during exercise, the muscle blood flow increases by 20 times. This is important. You can see, yeah, by 20 times here, 2 to 4, but here you can see like 4 twos are 8, right? 20 times due to increase in metabolism. This is leading to accumulation of end products like hydrogen, potassium, lactate, so which are mainly vasodilators. So these end products are vasodilators. Whenever the blood vessel is dilated, there is lot of amount of blood flowing through it. So remember, mainly during exercise, there is 20 times increase in blood flow. So now let us see the changes in cardiovascular system during exercise. So the first change which we see is redistribution of blood flow. The blood is again getting redistribution. That is how is first the blood flow decreased to kidneys, plank neck circulation, and it is diverted to other states, like you can see it is increase in blood flow to exercising muscle mainly, and to the heart, skin, which dissipates heat. So you can see whenever you are doing exercise, your blood is not moving to kidneys, plank neck circulation, but your blood is very much increased to exercising muscle, the muscle which you are doing exercise, and also to the heart and also to the skin, because from skin it should dissipate heat. And there is no change in the blood flow in the brain because if you disturb brain, everything disturbs. So brain should be normal, so the blood flow is still maintained in the brain. And also we'll see one more thing is increase in cardiac output. Normally the resting cardiac output is 5 liters per minute, but in an exercising cardiac output becomes up to 30 liters per minute. And let us see one more is anticipatory tachycardia. Anticipatory means just by thinking of it only our heart rate increases. So it's a increase in the heart rate just before doing exercise. So if you think of doing exercise, like I want to do exercise now or after 5 p.m, like, oh, if you want to do exercise, just thinking about it only starts increasing the heart rate. This is nothing but anticipated tachycardia. So this mainly occurs due to the thinking of doing exercise, which results in the generation of impulse from the proprioceptors, and these proprioceptors are mainly present in our joint spaces. And next, let us see the blood pressure changes. Heart means a cardiovascular system only. We can understand that there are going to be some blood pressure changes. So here we have two types of exercise. In these two types of exercise, how the blood pressure changes. Let us see. In the isotonic exercise, there is increase in blood pressure, systemic blood pressure, systolic blood pressure is increased, but the diastolic blood pressure is decreased. So why diastolic blood pressure is decreased? Isotonic means, example, remember, on treadmill walking. So on running on treadmill, why the diastolic blood pressure decreases is mainly due to the decrease in total peripheral resistance. As total peripheral resistance is decreased, as resistance is decreased, then the diastolic blood pressure also will decrease, because if there is resistance only, to avoid that resistance, then the diastolic blood pressure will increase. But here, the peripheral resistance is decreased, so our the diastolic blood pressure also decreases. But coming to isometric exercise, that is, while you are pushing the wall, if you remember, isometric exercise means you are pushing the wall, the length is not changing but the tension is changing, right? So here the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure both are increased, because due to the sustained muscle contraction leading to increase in total peripheral resistance. As here the total peripheral resistance is increased, the diastolic blood pressure is also increased. Now let us see the respiratory changes. As you can understand, while you're doing exercise, you will feel that increase in heart rate, and also you'll feel that increase in respiration, like somewhat panting situation sometimes, and also you can feel that thing. So let us see about now respiratory changes during exercise. Mainly there is increase in pulmonary ventilation. Why? Because due to increase in respiratory rate, and also because of release of potassium ions. So this potassium ions mainly stimulate the chemoreceptors, and these chemoreceptors in turn also increase the body temperature. We already know that when we do exercise, the body temperature is increased. So remember one more important point, that partial pressure of oxygen, carbon dioxide and heart rate always remain constant, but only the respiratory rate increases and also body temperature increases. And now let us see the anticipatory tachypnea. As we have seen anticipatory tachycardia in our heart, even in respiratory system, just of thinking to do exercise only, somewhat our respiratory rate increases. That is called as anticipatory tachypnea. That is increase in respiratory rate before the exercise due to the impulses. Again here also from the proprioceptors which are present in our joints. So next, we also increase in oxygen consumption. Of course, if you're doing exercise, your muscles need more oxygen. So resting oxygen consumption is normally 250 milliliter per minute, and it's correspond to 1 met. Met means here 1 metabolic equivalent. But in exercising, oxygen consumption increases the number of metabolic equivalents, and also the maximum oxygen consumption here, it is called as VO2 max. And in lungs, there is increase in more diffusion of gases. We'll see here the next point also there also. And oxygen consumption is, once let us say, at the onset of exercise, that is just starting the exercise, the oxygen supply mainly comes from our oxygen stores, like from our hemoglobin, myoglobin in our muscle. So these produce oxygen, but at the end of exercise, the oxygen debt is incurred. Oxygen debt means, you have taken this oxygen from hemoglobin and myoglobin. Now you need to repay it, because now they are empty. So at the end of exercise, you can repay the extra oxygen. Still, by at the end of exercise also, you will take more oxygen, you'll have more respiratory rate, so that you can repay that oxygen which you have taken from hemoglobin and myoglobin. So that is repaid by increase in respiratory rate at the end of the exercise, and also increase in oxygen consumption. So this is called as EPOC. EPOC means excess post exercise oxygen consumption. So after exercise also, we take more of oxygen to repay that oxygen debt taken from hemoglobin and myoglobin. And next is increase in diffusion of gases in lungs. That is, diffusion capacity of lungs is increased, and here we do a test called as diffusion capacity of lungs using carbon monoxide. Here the test is mainly to this test value also increases. If this test value increases, we can say that there is diffusion in gases in lungs. And also we check out the oxygen dissociation curve. This is associated mainly with release of oxygen. So here you can see, here we in this oxygen dissociation curve we can see a right shift mainly. So these are all the important points of revision from our exercise physiology.